Welcome. Today we are going to make this Patreon video public for everyone because we're going to look at, because I felt like it, it's my stuff. But we're going to look at Obsidian, we're going to look at TiddlyRoam and Stroll, which are both versions of Tiddlywiki. We're going to look at that because it's knowledge management apps and they are important, and I've been playing with them all week. I should probably move my monitor down. There you go. Probably a better camera angle. Though I can't check right now. So let's start with Obsidian. So Obsidian is a knowledge management app. That's what it is. It's called a note-taking app. I'm thinking lately that there's kind of two different types of note-taking apps, though. There's one which would be, say, Notes, Apple Notes, something more basic, even Evernote to a certain extent. Maybe DevonThink a little bit, which I have, Keep It, stuff like that. That is just notes. It's not anything special, anything like that. It's just taking notes. And there's something like Roam is a big one right now, which I don't have. Obsidian, which we have right here, and then the other two, Stroll and TiddlyRoam, are two other ones. So what we have right here is just a Obsidian note, and over on the right side you can see we've got some of the places I've linked to it. So in the book Bibliotech I've linked to it, and the book Death of Expertise I've linked to the Dunning-Kruger effect, or I've mentioned it. And then the Dunning-Kruger effect, I've actually here summarized what it is. Now we can, I think it's ShiftClick here, yeah. So I can actually open up a ShiftClick and have two different options here. You can see in the backlink side I have unlinked mentions, and so you can see it actually mentions itself in itself. I wish it didn't do that. It doesn't need to tell me I mentioned its own book title in its book title. But this will also show you if I've talked about, say, Dunning-Kruger effect in another area that is not in these double brackets here, right? So that's I've done the Death of Expertise here. Something else that's actually I like, because I like it, is that it does actually Vim keys here pretty well. So I haven't tested out like everything, but I can navigate with stuff. I can go down with stuff. And I can use A, I can use I. Can I do? Nope. So I can't do, that was a CI square bracket, which in theory should grab all the text inside a square bracket and cut it and let me paste, or not cut it and let me enter new text. Doesn't do that. I like that though. You can use Control O to open. So I could open up, let's say, broken window theory, and it's still in a to summarize tag. So for me right now, the things that are to summarize are things I've talked about, but I haven't actually summarized myself. So broken window theory, I mentioned a Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. I can open up Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. And can you drag? No. It's got two editing modes, right? I can't drag. So I was hoping I could actually take this and drag it over to the other side. And there's nothing. Split horizontally too. Oh wow, I can split again. That's cool. I did not know that. So I could have four. Now none of those, as far as I'm aware, can you find from the keyboard commands. That's probably one fault of Obsidian right now. They're only 2-3 months old, 2-3 months old. So they don't have a lot of tutorials, a lot of keyboard, like sort of a lot of documentation on it. They do have, if you hit Command P, a decent amount of keyboard commands, right? This is your quick command editor. I know you see this in other editors like Atom. You'll see like the commands you can do. So this shows you how to do the keyboard commands it has. In theory, I can actually map split vertically and split horizontal to something, which is cool. Close active pane, close all other panes, open settings. So we can command comma. In here, we also have hotkeys. This is new, and I think we're in 0.51, and it is the 15th of May. They're hoping to release 0.52 tomorrow, I believe. So I just read in the Discord. So I've got a very active Discord as well, so I like that. Very active, and not just talking about only Obsidian, but just knowledge management in general, which is cool. But in here you can go in and have lots of different stuff. You can go in and adjust your keyboard commands, right? And you can map all those things. You can go into the editor and you can change how you pair brackets, if it does Markdown. That's another thing I like about this. The next two we'll look at, Stroll and TiddlyRoam, are I've done some modifications to allow Markdown to happen, but they don't do Markdown by default. They are, is it wiki text? I think it's called wiki text. So, but it's a smart indent of list, and a smart indent would be when you go, right, something, that is a smart indent when it drags that with it. Else, that's cool. Does it do it with numbers too? I don't know. Something else. It does that, but in theory that should actually become a 1 again. And then Shift Tab does take it back. That would be a 2, yeah. So you do a little bit of on your own, but it still works. And then when I hit Command S to save, it doesn't actually show me anything happen. So that would be nice if it showed you that something saved, even just like a little, I don't know, something up here. Something up there. Now, one of the big things that is excellent, or people are loving about Roam, Obsidian, and then actually TiddlyRoam and Stroll as well, you can add this to it, is this thing. This is your, I don't know what you want to call it, knowledge graph, your link graph. So it tells me that the book Death of Expertise is linked to in the God Delusion up top, a bibliotech, Dunning-Kruger effect, links out to, I know that's range, that's just off the corner here because I just know that. Tom Nichols would be the author, links to Free Range Kids and iGen, right? I can say iGen links to all these things here. I've talked about all these other things, right? Right, and I link to Tristan Harris in there too, because I talked about Tristan Harris and iGen. Tristan Harris is the author of Kids These Days. So it lets me see kind of how things relate. See, Roam Research links to Best Research App, right? So these are my notes on the Best Research App, kind of what we're looking at right now, the best knowledge or research app. Right, it links out to lots of different stuff, to Noto, which is one over here. But also lets me see stuff like The Inconvenient Indian and Words Have a Past. So this is the reading or the notes I have around Native American issues in mainly Canada, because that's where I am. I can see that I don't have a lot there, right? It lets me see that. So if Matt Gemmell, and in theory, that's a parenting thing he wrote about becoming a new parent, which was really poignant, really got me right there. Right, and I can see that. Right, it tells me that one thing has a bunch as well. The mullet method of deep work, which is kind of my idea of focus in the morning and kind of be less focused in the afternoon. Like party in the back, focus up front. Business in the front, party in the back. That's my idea that I keep talking about. So I had to change a few of my references in some of my book notes to say literally the mullet method of deep work. But yeah, I don't think, have I summarized my own idea? No, I haven't. So I need to put in here, I need to put in to summarize so that I have a note on what my own idea is. Down here is the Markdown Converter. It just switches things around for you. So it takes to-dos and switches them over if you want to change wiki text to Markdown. Right, converts tag to tag to tag. So it converts it all to these type of tags. So this is a wiki formatted tag. That's the one that will give you. All right, so even in here, if I add, what is it? Something. All right, Command E to get out of this. I just created this at the same time without needing to. So let's go to mullet method of deep work and delete that. So you create that at the same time. That's the big thing. So when I dropped in this boys and sex, when I created and added Peggy Orenston's name here with those double brackets, then it automatically created that for her, right? iGen, I didn't have iGen in yet, but when I put in iGen, it automatically, this link already worked because there's already a thing for it. That's good. Now, as far as iPadOS, there is no client for this on iPadOS, but what it is, all it is this right here. It's just Markdown file. So I can go into broken window theory, open it up in Markdown, and I could say I summarized this. When I type, I can save. And if I open here, I have summarized this. That's it. So that actually lets me create my book notes in, I use IA Writer while I'm reading. So the book I'm reading right now is The Second Mountain. And I'm creating notes on a bunch of, say, interesting books that I want to read, right? So The Power of Meaning, ShiftClick. I have nothing on that one yet. The Mystery of Marriage, this is Marriage to read. So I could actually even go here in Orchid and Dandelion and say, there you go, to read. So I want to read that one, right? Composing a life. I count to read. Good. Close. Power of meaning. Actually, I already read that one, but I want to read it again. I've done the rest of them, I'm pretty sure. Shift. Yep. And the reason you might tag an author, I don't know if I've done this for Cal Newport yet. No, he's not in there. Do I have deep work in here? Or digital minimalism? Nope. I don't have anything about Cal Newport yet, but that's something that you may, if I have read his books, I do have notes on them somewhere. But I would put them in here. And then if I want to make a note on some of his blog posts, I would also tag it as Cal Newport, and I would see like a cluster of Cal Newport knowledge in there. That's really it for like a quick overall view of what Obsidian is. Now there's also one thing it doesn't do, and let's open up Tiddly Desktop right now. So Tiddlywiki is what both Stroll and TiddlyRoam are built on. So I've got two wiki files here, and they are literally just, where is it? I'm sticking with iCloud. So they're literally, this one, because I know it, is Stroll. This one is TiddlyRoam. That's all they are. It's just one file, so 5 megabytes and 5.2 megabytes. One question I have there is how big will a single one get? Because I only have, I don't know, 60 notes in there, maybe 70 notes. So 1 hour worth of work. I got a lot of notes. So Stroll comes up with this all the time. I'm sure you can change it. I don't know how yet. And then I've also, I added favorites here. That's this little tab here for my best research app in the second mountain. And it does the same thing, really. Right, I have Stroll TiddlyWiki. I can go into any of the other notes. I know if I went to Stroll and then to TiddlyWiki questions, here's all the questions I have about what TiddlyWiki will do. Right, it also has this map feature, which gives me the same thing we saw before. I can look around and see like what's linked together. So TiddlyWiki, right, best research app. I know it's linked to Roam, but I also link Tiddly Questions links to Roam because you can see it switched up here too because I mentioned it in one spot. Probably a mapping plugin, something like that. I don't see it immediately. Anyway, it has been linked. Right, Xiaomi is the author of some good tutorials on Roam research. Tiddly Desktop is this client I'm in. Right, Tiddly Questions I link out to YouTube and Quiet. I don't know why that links. That's interesting. But it also will show, does it show it anywhere here? When I've linked between two things both ways. So that would mean like if I had linked, this only shows you the map of the top node. It's not readed itself. So if I linked one note in one way and then one note back the other way, say they're like actually linking intentionally. Well, they are linked, you can see. So best research app and Roam research is linked down here. So that is good. A nice thing here too is, where do we do that? Here. So I can actually change how many steps distance. So I can say, I think I'm on 2, but if I go to 3, give me a bigger view of it. I can go to 1 step distance and just see like what's directly linked to this. 2 seems fairly like a sweet spot here, right? And you can navigate around. Yeah, I can zoom even and then just grab. It'd be nice if this was like the grabber hand, but it's not. And then I can Command S. I can't. Probably only over here. Command S. So this tells me that it's not saved yet. So this all is really built up with TiddlyWiki and these. So I added the favorites plugin. What else did I add? I added Tiddly Map to this, which is this thing right here. Relink, so that's if you change the name of a tiddler, they call it, then it will automatically relink to a new, all the mentions of it will get their name changed. And then stories. I like stories. So stories is, I think, what lets me do the shift click to open in this side. See, there's a UI issue here, so it actually says you're supposed to close this, and now you can have 2 up. Can I have more than 2 across? Yeah, so I can have like multiple ones here. I could work on all bunch of notes at the same time. I like this feature. I like this feature. But what it doesn't do, if I go over to TiddlyRoam, let's make it full screen, and let's go to Best Research App again. And so I added a different favorites plugin. I'm not actually sure which one. What this one does, where would I have this? I see it doesn't do the shift click, but you can see under Best Research App, I mentioned TiddlyRoam right here. It actually includes the content in there. So and I added a Markdown note. I'm not sure. I only added that late last night, so I'm not actually going to show you that because I'm not 100% sure how it works or how well it works if I really like it. So right now it is May 15th. Let's go May 15th, 2020. And a daily journal is one of the things that people are doing regularly in these type of apps. So in this I could mention that, I could do this. Star, breakfast, right? Star to do an indented list, had a bowl of checks, had a muffin Eden, who's my daughter, made, right? So that's what I could do. If I did a workout, I could put in my workout details. Workout. Nothing today, as my legs are really tired. So I ran 5 times this week already. My legs are tired. What that lets you do, so when they're yellow, they're not actually invented yet or created yet. But let's open a workout, and you can see I've got multiple workouts in here, and I can see. Now, the unfortunate thing is I love those reversed because I want to see my May 15th workout as kind of my most recent. So this is going to show my oldest workout all the time. I don't love that. I don't know how to change it, but I literally started playing with TiddlyRoam last night. So that's one thing that people talk about in Roam research or in anything, right? So if I had lunch with someone and I made a note on that day, I could go find it. So I just add something here. My workout list. Right, so now that won't be yellow because there's actually something there. But these notes are created already. Something I have done because I'm on Mac, and it actually does work on iPad. It's called Quine 2. It has a client for iPad that views your stuff. If we go under our gear, let's just save because I actually went through and changed where to go. Command Enter right here. So I wanted to change my save tiddler command to something that worked. Something that worked, and so I just hit that right there and then hit Command Enter and then hit Enter to accept it. That's something I don't love, so like I want to go through and change all the control stuff to give it a Mac specific, right? So I could go New Image, Macintosh platforms only, Control I don't know why. In theory, you can create keyboard commands too, although I've started to look at the documentation for that, and oh my goodness, it's the documentation on Tiddlywiki isn't great. It's just not great. You know this. This is gonna be an open one, but I know the Patreon people know that I code for a living. My job is to build websites, and I read through the documentation and think I have literally no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't make sense in any fashion. I did manage once to get like a keyboard command showing up here. I could never make it do anything on TiddlyRoam, or sorry, on Stroll. So, and I can't figure out how Stroll, I think it's I don't want you anymore. I think in here it is the Stories plugin. Plugins SQ Stories. I have no idea how to get to it. I haven't been able to find it either to actually include it. I think if I could include stories in here, I don't love the styles. I actually like how this looks better with the reverse, with the dark back and the light front, and this is reversed. I don't like that. But if I could get stories in here, then I would have it in there. I'd have it in there. As far as installing plugins in here, let me just find if I can find open up Firefox. And let's go to Wiki Markdown. TiddlyWiki Markdown plugin. This actually works. That's the one that doesn't work. It took me a while to find it yesterday too. Let's go. So I'm using DuckDuckGo, and if I hit G like that, then it gives me this Markdown demo. I think that was the right one. Yep. So literally, if I just drag this chunk right here and drop it on my, I can show you on my Stroll one. If I grab this and I'm in Stroll, I literally just let go and import, save, reload, Markdown. That's how you install one. It's super easy. But I literally can't find the, let's try it right now. Go G wiki plugin. See, I don't know. It's gonna take longer to find that because what I think it's Stories that does the does what's called transclusion. So it brings in this data here. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at around here right now. This week I've spent a bunch of time doing that. My best research app note is going to take like, well, you know, I've got Roam research here. I have nothing on that yet because I am not in it yet. I have Obsidian because I'm in that, so I've started some notes on that. I have Stroll, TiddlyWiki, TiddlyRoam. They're all, you know, the same thing. Rem note, Ample note, Athens, Standard notes, Joplin, Devonthink, Keep It, Zettler. Show Devonthink for a second, actually. Because I own Devonthink. I've been a Devonthink user for a while. There's lots to like about it. One of the things that I do like is, how do we get there? See, it's been a while since I've used it. I never find that I use it. I don't find it. There we go. So this is going to show me all the stuff that relates to it kind of in a heat graph, right? So again, the first thing is it's linking to itself twice. Why? Right, and it shows me what is most linked to it. Smart notes. That's a receipt from the bookman. Right. If I go to getting comfortable with Roam, so you can see my Roam research. Another thing by Nat Ellison is in there as well. How the blog broke the web. So that's something that I like, although it doesn't show you very well what your, it can show you related notes because I have it indexing all my writing as well. Under here, this is like all of my Markdown writing indexed in another folder. So that's good, but and I can use that, say if I was going to look at something current. I actually think this is, I just moved things around, so this will be a little old. A file not yet available. Download? Why is it not downloaded? So maybe it's not even working. That's like stellar. Doesn't have to be crazy at work. File missing. Well, you know what? That's actually because I moved them all, so it's not going to show me any of this. In theory, I could look at this file missing, and let's delete that. It's not even there. In theory, I could look at the current things I'm writing and see what other data in my knowledge management system relates to it. It has an iPadOS client. It's barely passable. It lets you enter data in. That's kind of all it does. It doesn't. It's barely passable. Here, there's like automation where I can like file receipts if they're in certain folders and everything like that. But the iOS client is passable. That's it. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you really like this, you like the tour of everything, then you can go to patreon.com/CurtisMcHale and support me, support my work, my videos, my book writing, my research, my helping you out. I produce videos on iPadOS, note-taking apps, how to do good stuff, how to manage being a parent and work, stuff like that. Have a wonderful day.